Welcome to MMA Studio. We'll try to keep you updated on the magnificent and sometimes crazy world of MMA. Finally, we got a European UFC card with important fights on the main card and some awesome newcomers. The UFC Fight Night in Hamburg delivered plenty of action. Fight Night kicked off with Jessin Ayari versus Jim Wallhead, also known as Judo Joe. Jessin Ayari was supposed to fight the Norwegian Viking Emil Mek, but after he had to pull out, the veteran Wallhead had to step in his place. And we have you on Skype, Jessin Ayari. Welcome to MMA Studio. And how does it feel to have your debut?
Great, couldn't be better. I mean, it was such a funny week. The last week, the whole fight week, I had so much fun, and I can smile back on this week. It's cool.
In the fight, you were supposed to meet the Emil Mek, the Valhalla Norwegian Viking, and then he pulls out, and then the Judo Joe came in. And how did you prepare to? Did you do something specific in your training camp the last weeks?
Yeah, normally I want to do some specific. At that time, I was working on like basic stuff, cardio and everything basic. But then the opponent changed, and I want to go specific in this area. But I had an injury on my elbow, so that makes the whole plan was like it was not a good training camp this time. But yeah, I want to fight, and it was Hamburg, my hometown. So many friends came, and that's why I fight. Yeah.
And were you injured? Were it broken or?
No, I had I don't know the name in English, but my elbow was getting big, and it was like water.
Yeah, it's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, like water inside, and it gets really big, and yeah, I couldn't use my hand. I don't know, for 4 weeks, 5 weeks. So I just
wow.
Yeah, it was, but now it's over. I can talk about it.
Yeah, of course. So there was some panic.
Before the fight, of course, I said I'm in the best shape.
So there was some panic in the days in front of the fight then. Some drama.
Yeah, but I deal with it. I see it as as a challenge for myself, and I say, okay, when I can beat Jimmy Wallhead in my training camp with one hand, then it was a really test for myself. And yeah, at the end, I was say always to myself, man, it's not the training camp. Of course, it's important, but you fight since a couple of years, and I'm a fighter, and that's it.
Yeah, for sure.
A fighter.
It was impressive. We saw you came running in and see your Tunisian friends. You were kissing and hugging and really running up to. Were you nervous? What kind of state were you body in?
Like I said, I'm born to fight. I'm a born winner, and yeah, I love fighting, and I enjoy the time. I was there with such a good feeling, and when I come out, I see it was my family there, and yeah, they feed me with energy. So I'm getting not nervous when I fight. At my beginning of the career, I was really nervous, but now, of course, a little bit nervous. But I need it also to get to another level. But I'm not scared of anything.
No, because and then in the first round, you seem to cope with the distance pretty good on your opponent. You seem to be a little bit unsecure in the first round, but then in the second round, I felt like you were really picking him apart, if you know what I mean. Is that correct?
Yeah, me and my coaches, we know that Jimmy will come out and look for his big hooks and his punches that he make really good. And I knew, like I always said, I'm not a stupid fighter. I don't want to go there and go toe on toe with Jimmy Wallhead, man.
Is that some of the best?
It's not a good idea.
No.
So I stay on the outside, and the plan was to like steal the first round. He has pressure in the rounds, in the last rounds. So we steal the early rounds with some kicks, and of course try to go the distance. Like I said, I used my elbow for like 1 month or longer, not, and it was like normally I use the distance with my jab and go forward with my jab to get in the distance. But yeah, it was a little bit it didn't take a little bit longer time this time. But yeah, it was the plan to steal the first round, and then he has harder second and third round.
Because you see, in the third round, I was a little, because we in the MMA studio, we have spoken to you, so that's why we're cheering a little bit for you. But you dropped your hands, Jessin. You seem to drop your hands like the John Jones stuff and just picking him apart. And I was thinking, oh my God, what are you doing? And of course you get punished. What were you thinking?
Yeah, everybody was saying, man, it's crazy. But for me, it's nothing new, you know. In training, I often do it, and it's like also when I drop my hands, I know what I'm doing. It's not that I drop my hands to see, hey, I got a good chin or something like that. So I know I'm really confident in my reflex and everything, and that's why the plan was. And my coach also said, yeah, if you feel you can drop your hands, it's no problem. The guys, the fans will think you are crazy, but if you know what you're doing, then it's no problem. And I was at this moment, I feel okay. Jimmy, I got him. He had nothing against me, and I made a little mistake. It was just a little technical mistake that I go with my right hand and not slip under. I was him, but he clapped me with this hook that he made really beautiful. But it was not that I was just out of balance.
So you're not rocked. You were not rocked, yeah?
Yeah. But he came and I was clear in my head, and I knew, okay, I stand up and I do the same again.
Because stylistically, I could see that you looked like John Jones, to be honest. You look like John Jones. So it's,
okay.
It was so, we're really, do you have like, do you have your own style, or do you picking a little bit from everybody? How do you develop that style? Because your style was not the typical Thai, not the typical MMA. It was something new.
Yeah. Of course, I train a lot of boxing, and I'm, like I said, I believe so much in my reflexes and in my boxing, and I'm confident in this area. And that's why I like the footwork, and also I watched like one of my heroes, Muhammad Ali, and he's always like good footwork. And yeah, I always said, my boxing coach said to me when I came to him, I think 3 years or 4 years ago, he said to me, I want that you are a boxer, you don't need to block the punches, you slip everything away and you see everything. And so yeah, and that was of course in this style you cannot stay on your feet and like hands up and go forward, so you need to be quick on your feet, footwork. Yeah, and it
looks your foot. Yeah, I can see it because you're leaning a little bit forward, and your foots are, and you had a footwork where you were moving to right and left, and there was nothing like you didn't only move to the right, you didn't only move to the left. You're a little bit like Muhammad Ali, that's for sure. A little bit unpredictable for your opponent. And I compare you to John Jones because in the research here, you and Jones have something in common, because the rest of your family is also good athletes. You have one brother who's a professional soccer player?
No. I don't know. It's little. Like my family I'm a big family, but my brother, he's not a professional athlete. He's the best brother, but he's not a professional athlete.
Okay, so that's wrong.
My closer family, I'm the only professional athlete. But in Tunisia, the name Ayari is it's a big name. I don't know. In Norway, there are also names. There are like big names, and and we have there some athletes, but we are not like. They are not my my close family.
So that's Dan Hardy. That's Dan Hardy. Dan Hardy called it out. Yeah, okay. Then we'll just skip that.
They talked a little bit like they're close with us, but in my generation, I'm the only pro athlete.
Yeah. And one of the last questions would be, in the Norwegian newspapers, there were in a scene called Nettavisen, a Norwegian journalist spoke to you about Emil Mek. And one of the headlines was you were telling Emil Mek doesn't look real, like you was suspicion of how his body was look like. And I was wondering, are you into the trash talk now? Do you want to fight Emil next, or what's this all about?
Yeah, it doesn't matter for me. They always, it was, everybody asked me about Emil Mek, why he dropped out, and I say to everybody, I don't know. I have just the information that the USADA don't give him, let him not to fight, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on. One guy said to me, yeah, he caught because of injury. The other guy said, yeah, he was on, I don't know, something. And I just answer the question and say, I don't know. I mean, Emil Mek is a strong dude, and he looks really strong. But, I mean, I have friends here, they also look strong, and they take nothing. So, I don't know. And for me, it doesn't matter. If he wants to fight, I'm fight, and the UFC will say, hey, you're gonna fight. It's like the last time the UFC called me. Yeah. Okay, you fight Emil Mek, and I say, I'm ready. And it will be the same when the UFC say, hey, you fight Emil Mek. I say, yeah, I'm ready again, no problem. But it's not like, it's not. I don't know him. I don't hate him, so I don't know him.
It's nothing. Okay, but we definitely would love to see you fight again. Do you know? Do you have any? Because you're good. You're healthy. You're good to go almost immediately.
Yeah, I have. Like I said, with my elbow, I need to take a little break because like 3 days before the fight, the stitches came out, so it was really close, everything.
Wow.
Yeah. So I put it by myself out and it was
what?
Everything.
Did you pull your stitches out 3 days before the fight? Oh my God.
Yeah. That's. There was no reason that I'm not fighting this in this event. It's hometown. And,
that's impressive.
Yeah, I want to fight, but now I need to just a little break. I think I need no surgery or nothing, but just a little break to go maybe 1 week, 2 weeks out. We will see, and then of course I'll be back. We will see. I talk with my management and with the UFC. And then we will see. I don't know. Maybe the next. I think the next Europe event is now in Manchester, and then after that, I don't know what event is coming in Europe, or we fight in USA, or I don't know.
We are looking forward to see you fight again. Jessin, leave it to the doctors, please.
Yeah.
And get healthy. And it was a pleasure to see you fight. And we're looking forward to see you fight again. Thank you. And. We talk to you as soon as you get a new fight, okay?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. See you.
See you. That was Jessin Ayari, one of the next generation UFC fighters from Germany. And he looks like John Jones, and he feels like John Jones. Only he got a much healthier lifestyle, I hope. We're looking forward to see him again, okay? Up next, thank you. Jack Hermanson versus Scott Askren, the debutant versus the veteran. The odds were against the Swedish-Norwegian fighter, but he fought with precision and style, and in a way Scott Askren couldn't cope with. Jack the Joker won an impressive fight on points after 3 rounds. We have him on Skype, and Jack Hermanson, how does it feel to finally have your debut in the octagon done?
It's great. It's great to be at another chapter now, and it was an amazing experience, and I'm super happy with the result.
How was your feeling during? I saw you with your new walk-in song. Were you nervous?
No, not more than usual. You know, I was a little bit nervous during fight week, but when I got the attention from the crowd, everything went away, and I just felt great.
Yeah, and you started on with Scott Askram. He's a phenomenal fighter and a veteran in the sport, and you started off with a pretty obvious game plan. Did everything go according to the plan? Was the plan to do the oblique kick in his legs?
The plan was to stay active, move around a lot, and make it hard for him to aim his techniques. So a lot of movement was the plan. I moved a lot in the start, but I had a little bit of hard time to find my timing in the punches and my attacks. So I had to put a little bit more pressure in the second and third, and I was more successful then. So, but a lot of movement was the plan from the beginning.
Because it seems like Scott Askram was having trouble with your low kicks. You were kicking him constantly in his knee.
Yeah.
Was
that
that
was
part
of the plan? Of course, we had worked on that, and especially when he was going for his attacks, I was going to stop him with those. And yeah, during that, I was going to put a little bit more pressure.
In the third round, you seems to want to knock him out. Was that the drive from you? Did you try to knock him out?
Yeah, I wanted to finish the fight, and when the time was running out, I was trying to put some more pressure and put more power in the punches. But like, if you try to force the knockout, it doesn't happen. So, but I did a try at least.
Yeah, of course. And everybody now, your new name should be Jack Ain't No Joke Hermansson, I think. Because everybody saw that you were just phenomenal. You're a fighter that everybody's thinking is gonna come, go straight up to the top 15, 20, pretty fast. And how did you feel after the fight? Are you okay? Are you body? You seem to be okay.
Yeah, I'm not very bad, but. You're always sore after a fight, especially after a 3-rounder, and I have my aches and pains, but nothing serious, so I will be alright.
Just immediately after your fight was finished, you announced your preferred next opponent.
Yeah.
Have you planned it all out, Jack Hermanson? Have you planned the step to the top already?
I have been like thinking about some people that I want to fight, and one name popped up, and I threw it out there. But there are many matchups that make sense. This one against Talis Latest that I threw out there, it probably doesn't make so much sense for the UFC as it does for me. So I would imagine that they will match me against a European opponent at least one more time, but we will have to see. Explain
why it makes sense for you, because we don't understand.
It's just cool to fight somebody that has been up there. You know, he has been fighting for the title, and I want to fight somebody that's really experienced and that people have a connection to. You know, like a lot of people has seen him, and. That's the kind of fight that I want, you know, somebody that's well known and people can relate to, you know. So that makes it an exciting fight for people to watch.
Of course, if you keep on fighting like you did in Hamburg, for sure you'll build a fan base. And I really appreciate, Hermansson, you're taking your time to our small little MMA studio show. And me and you are growing together to do something really big, I hope. So, Do you prefer to fight as soon as possible?
Yeah, I would prefer to fight as soon as possible. I was thinking, like I could fight next month, but we'll see if the bruises are going down. But I would really prefer to fight before the year is finished.
Okay. Have you already spoken to some of the UFC officials about that?
No, I haven't.
No. And everybody, your fans now, everybody is wondering, how does it look backstage? How was the feeling? Was it any different than the Cage Warriors? How did it feel?
Like, yeah, everything is pretty much the same, but bigger, So it's very, very well organized, and it's super cool to be around there. It's a really good production. The crew is taking very good care of you, and I think the biggest difference is when you're in there. When you're in the arena with that huge crowd around you and all the cameras, and it's a massive production. So, like, when you're in there fighting, that's definitely the biggest difference if you compare to the small shows.
Okay, Jack, thank you for participating, and I wish you the best of luck in the future. We speak to you soon, so thank you very much. Jack ain't no joke, Hermansson. Yeah? Then we go further on in the program, and let's take a look at the other fights during Hamburg. And you can watch a longer interview with Jack Hermanson on this channel in Fighter in a Car. On the main card, kicked off with the German Nick Hein in a battle with Thea Hyum. Bang! The German won on the decision. The Swedish fighter Latifi, a long-time training and team colleague with Alexander Gustafsson, fought against Ryan Bader. Bader knocked Latifi out with a vicious knee. Alexander Gustafsson has done some soul searching for some time. He explained to the media that the last couple of years have been hard to cope with. His losses to Daniel Cormier and John Jones were both hard for the mind and for the body. In Hamburg, the Swede was up against Jan Blachowicz in a fight that was almost do or die for him. In the first round, Blachowicz rocked Gustafsson, but he survived and fought the rest of the fight on top of a tired Blachowicz. The judges all agree that Gustafsson was the superior fighter, and Blachowicz seems to lack the cardio to cope with the Swede for 3 rounds. And the last fight on the main card between Arlovsky and Barnett, well, this reporter was not that impressed and found it rather boring. However, it was regarded as a fight of the night by the UFC, and Josh Barnett won the performance of the night after he submitted Arlovsky. Finally, some other news. Matchmaker Joe Silva quits the UFC, leaving the rest of the matchmaking over to Sean Shelby. Some critics say this is a hard blow for the new owners of the UFC. Joe Silva has been in the UFC since the very first beginning, and his competence is hard to replace, if even possible. Thank you, and we appreciate that you're watching. And please subscribe so we can keep you updated on the magnificent, sometimes crazy world of MMA. And you can watch longer interviews with Jack Hermanson, another fighter, on this channel in Fighter in a Car. Goodbye.